On an all-new Dr. Phil.
Alexandra has gone to the emergency room 600 times.
Sometimes it can be like 3-4 times a week.
Been fired from 4 jobs because you just walked out and went to the hospital.
Yeah.
You got off a plane because you thought you were having appendicitis. At 7, she saw something about the Heimlich.
Yeah. I honestly don't even remember. That's what I'm saying. I don't remember that. Like, I don't remember that. Like, that's why, like, I don't know.
Do you want to know why I think you're doing what you're doing?
Yeah.
Do you want to know?
I want to know, yeah. Like, I honestly want to know because literally, I don't know. I know I would feel like something is wrong, like in that moment. And then I just like literally like start panicking. If I don't go to the hospital, something is going to happen to me.
Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
Today's going to be a changing day in your life.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you. Anna wrote to me about her younger sister, Alexandra, whom she says is dealing with an outrageous case that she says is hypochondriasis. Anna, their cousin Nina, and friend Katie all think Alexandra's issues go deeper than just the hypochondria and want my help in uncovering what could be the root cause. Here's what Anna has to say.
Alexandra has texted me so many times that she's dying, that it's really hard to know whether she's actually sick.
There's been times that I've gone to the ER like twice a week when I've had stomach pains because I thought that the stomach pain would progress to like appendicitis, or I would have like a pain in the side of my head, and that if I don't get to the hospital right away, that I'm gonna end up dying from a stroke. Or if I'm eating something and then my throat gets itchy, that it's an allergic reaction. I have been fired from 4 jobs from leaving to go to the hospital.
Alexandra has a constant fear of being allergic to foods, even though she has no allergies.
When I think that there's something in the food that I'm allergic to, my throat feels like it's gonna close up. I start touching my face, like thinking that one side is swollen.
I can actually mimic the way she goes. She's like, it's in my throat. I'm gonna die, like really like, panicky.
I think about choking at least once a day.
Alex's fear of choking started at around 5 years old.
I remember my mom would give me like spaghetti. I thought that I was gonna like choke on it.
Alexandra was so scared of choking that we had to give her mashed potatoes and soup for about a year.
I have never ever choked. I just have a really big fear of it.
Just last year, my sister and I went to eat at an Italian restaurant. When we got there, she locked herself in the bathroom because she believed that she was dying. She had called the ambulance and the cops showed up. She was perfectly fine, and they left saying that there was no medical emergency.
I feel like if I didn't call 911, like an ambulance or nothing, then like something would happen and I would like die right then and there.
Well, hello.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Good to meet both of y'all.
Nice to meet you.
Now, Anna, you're concerned about Alex, and you say she's been to the hospital 600 times plus.
Yes.
For what you refer to as hypochondria.
Yes.
And actually, in the field of psychology, it's not referred to that anymore. It's got fancier names, longer names.
Okay.
But everybody knows what you mean.
Yes.
And that is when somebody thinks they're sick when they're really not.
Yes. It started very young, and then as an adult, it's just more frequent hospital visits.
Okay, so you go to the hospital 3 or 4 times a week sometimes?
Probably like 2 times a week. Sometimes it can be like 3-4 times a week, but like 1-2 times a week. Yeah, like a lot. Yeah.
So why are you doing this when, if you've been, say, in the last 200-300 times, and you were wrong, there was nothing wrong with you.
Yeah, like
So why are you continuing to go when you've learned that they keep sending you home?
Like
no surgery, no admission, no treatment. Why do you keep going?
I would honestly like believe that like, okay, like when they tell me in that moment, like when I'm at the hospital, that nothing is wrong, like I'll believe them then. And then like I like would like just say if like something like if I got like a panic attack, or if like, just say if like I saw like something on my arm or whatever, and like I thought, you know, like what if it's this? And like I'll get in that panic mode, and then I'll just result in like going to the hospital, just because like that's where I would go to feel like safe in a way. So it would feel really real to me. Like it would feel like, okay, like if I don't go to the hospital, that something is gonna happen to me. I would feel like something is wrong, like in that moment. So I'll like kind of calm myself down sometimes, but then sometimes I'll be like, oh my God, like I have to go. And then I just like literally like start panicking. And then I'm like, okay, I gotta go.
What is your rationale at the time? Because you know you've had 40 false alarms. And so you're telling yourself, I'm getting ready to go, but I know I've gone 40 times in a row and nothing was wrong. So I know that.
Yeah. Like
what do you say to make yourself go again?
In that moment though, like if I'm really freaking out, you know what I mean? I wouldn't even think rational. Like I would just go. Like I would just be like, all right, I'm calling an ambulance.
This helps me. This helps me to understand. So you don't reason through it at the time.
I don't reason through it. If I don't go and I don't call something, then something's gonna happen right now.
Okay,
like that's my
something
mind.
That's gonna happen is what? You think you're gonna die?
Yeah, like I think that's why like I'm just like, it doesn't click to me that like everything is fine.
You understand that a panic attack is opposite of dying. Dying is when everything's shutting down and you're going,
yeah.
Panic attack is active, animated, racing. That's opposite than dying.
Yeah.
You have different things that trigger you, right? Sometimes it's your heart racing. You canceled a flight because you thought you were having appendicitis.
Yeah.
When you went to the airport, you were getting on a plane and you got off or refused to get on because you thought you were having appendicitis. You've been fired from 4 jobs because you just walked out and went to the hospital?
Yeah.
You say she's always asking, does this have peanuts in it or fish?
Yes. She asked if there's like peanuts or fish or pineapple.
Do you have a peanut allergy?
No.
But so why are you asking if it has peanuts in it?
I don't know. I just I don't know, to be honest. Like, I don't know, after every 7 years or after, you know what I mean? You start to develop like new allergies or something. So that kind of, I think I watched a video or something.
Wait a minute, have you had an allergy test?
No, like I've never had an allergy test done before.
Okay, but see, this is the point that I'm wanting you to start adding some things to your thinking as we go along here.
Yeah.
And this is something that I want you to put in your arsenal because
Absolutely.
A lot of today is going to be about you, not about her.
Okay.
Okay, because I'm very concerned about you and your life and well-being as well here. I want peace in your life.
Okay, thank you.
You deserve peace in your life too. But it's important to understand that feelings aren't facts.
Yeah.
And when you say, well, I just have this feeling about peanut butter, the feeling's not a fact, and you can get an allergy test. I mean, you've been 600 times. One of those times you might say, give me an allergy test.
Like, I honestly feel like it wouldn't even help because I'll still think that the allergy test is like lying.
You had a tour bus that you were on that stopped, and so you assumed that the driver died.
I think the worst a lot of the times. Like,
and it was actually a flat tire.
Yeah. It was a flat tire.
So it's a flat tire and you decided that the driver died.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. No. I really thought that I'm sorry. I'm not even sure. I just think the worst. I'm like so dramatic.
Coming up, what led Alex to the ER thinking she might have swallowed cocaine? We'll talk about that and meet 2 more loved ones concerned about her next.
When Alex speaks to Anna, if it doesn't go in her favor, it's automatic cursing, yelling.
On the ride here, Alex was freaking out.
I'm sorry, you guys.
My sister cannot control her emotions. It's like an explosion.
Tomorrow, the last interview with Mother God before her decaying body was discovered wrapped in Christmas lights.
Her eyes were missing and glitter makeup was painted on her face.
7 followers charged with abuse of a corpse.
This was one of the most dangerous religious groups that you've ever seen.
She was a horribly abusive cult leader, one of the worst I've ever witnessed. They would do whatever Amy told them to do.
That's tomorrow. Then on Friday, she's an alcoholic.
Fallen down the stairs, laying unconscious just in the snow.
And mom's an enabler.
I'm so worried about her dying.
You're killing her.
That's Friday.
My sister Alex went to the ER because she believed she had COVID. The doctor said she was okay. She went home, went back again about a month after, believing that she had COVID. The doctor stated that she had a low white blood cell count, and then she texted me in a panic, thinking that she was dying from AIDS.
I just thought I had HIV.
Alexandra was completely fine.
Well, Anna says her sister Alex always thinks she's sick. And always and never are extreme words. But in this case, I think always pretty much fits. Their cousin Nina and friend Katie agree that Alex lives in a pretty constant state of anxiety. And in addition to that, often turns explosive.
Alex can be really extreme. When Alex speaks to Anna, if it doesn't go in her favor, it's automatic cursing, yelling.
My sister cannot control her emotions. It's like an explosion.
I'll get pissed off every now and then, but the last time I cursed at Al was like a year ago. Like, I don't do that
Yesterday,
like that.
on the ride here, Alex grew louder to where she was freaking out.
Like, I'm sorry, you guys. This isn't you, Anna.
I'll get mad and I'll curse more, obviously, if I'm mad, you know? But like, I'm not having an outburst. Like, this is a New York thing. Like, this is what people in New York do.
Alex says that the way she speaks and curses is a New York thing, but it's not. It's just disrespect. There's no way around it.
Anna, you're in your own world.
Alexandra will lash out on me the minute that I cannot do something for her right away.
I'm getting mad at you because of you're doing. Like, you're canceling people last minute. I hate that, bro. I don't care. I hate that.
I don't consider myself an angry person at all. Like, I'm very patient.
Alexandra is verbally abusive to me. I try not to let it hurt me as much, but it's upsetting.
Anna definitely needs to put her foot down.
Well, Katie, Nina, thank you for being here. Nina, you work in the medical field, true?
I do.
And what do you do?
I'm a nurse assistant.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so you think that makes you her go-to?
Sometimes.
Like, sometimes I'll like call her or like I'll like text her like instantly, like if I'm like feeling like a certain type of way, like if I feel like I have to go into the hospital or like before I go to the hospital.
Does
I'll
it
like
keep
text
you
her.
from going sometimes?
Sometimes, yeah.
Sometimes not?
Like, no, sometimes no. Like, or I wouldn't text her and then I'll just go because I
Okay.
wouldn't want to text her so much.
When she contacts you and asks you about some symptom and you listen to it and can tell that it's nothing or exaggerated or she's overreacting to it, and you tell her that, what's her reaction likely to be?
Should I go to the hospital? Am I going to die? Am I going to die?
I mean, I honestly think that like the way I live my life is fine. I just would feel with the anxiety, it really is like a big thing. I don't drink, I don't do like any drugs, you know what I mean? Like, the thing is like, yeah, like the anxiety is a big part, you know what I mean? And it affects, that's the one thing I really want to change, because that, like, I'll be like perfectly fine. I'll be going to the gym, I'll be going to work, and then boom, like something happens and I freak out and I leave work and I go to the hospital.
You get upset with people. Do you think you're abusive?
I think that I don't just lash out on people for no reason.
What do you think, Kay? Do you think she's abusive at times?
I think that sometimes she gets blinded by anxiety and feeling like someone's her enemy, so she feels as though she needs to defend herself, and then she doesn't realize how far she's gone till after.
She is abusive. She is.
It's not like I try to be mean. Like, it's not like I'm just pissed a lot of the times because I feel like I like try to talk to people and they don't listen to what I'm saying.
But yesterday you flipped out over nothing.
Yeah, because I felt like everybody was like ganging up on me.
You just went into a full-blown rage for no reason. Like, that was crazy in a diner. You made a scene in a diner.
Okay,
That's
this is bad
insane.
for me here. All right.
No,
Why?
we're not.
Because people
we're
are
not.
telling you
because
things that you don't want to hear.
Whatever. It's not even that.
about
Like,
bashing you.
It's not bashing you.
I'm just gonna
making
keep
you
my cool.
aware
That's it.
of
Well, keeping your
the
cool is a good
reality.
thing. There was a guy doing cocaine near you, and he was sweating, and you thought that it got into your mouth and you went to the ER. that's highly reactive. That means you're a hair trigger, right?
Yeah.
So you thought somebody was sweating cocaine and it got in your mouth?
Not in my mouth, but like if I touched him, like it would, get in my skin. I don't know. Like, I mean, I just freaked out. I don't know that if it's gonna do, I just freaked out thinking that it would.
When you got to the ER and you told them that, what did they say?
They were just like, it doesn't happen like that. And I'm like, okay. I didn't know that.
Well, coming up, did dating an EMT help Alex? The answer might surprise you next.
Alex tries to exude confidence through wearing things that are more revealing than she should.
Alex spends a lot of time and money on her appearance.
I like having expensive clothes and designer bags, yeah.
My first guest for the new season of Fill in the Blanks has never been on. My son, Jordan, and his new wife, Morgan. What's Morgan do when she gets stressed?
Oh my God, when am I not stressed?
That's pretty much the answer.
Both of you live in town with your in-laws. How's that work?
I think we do.
Watch it.
We both like our own parents. It makes it easy to like each other's.
When your parents found out that you were getting married
Yes.
and you were having a baby,
Yes.
what was their first reaction?
She screamed. They were so happy.
Fill in the Blanks. New season on Apple Podcast and Stitcher.
I one time actually ended up calling the ambulance so many times that I ended up actually seeing the EMT. When I was feeling anxious, when I was with him, it wasn't able to calm me down because he wasn't in his uniform, that he would look like a regular person. We ended up breaking up because I would still go to the hospital and call the ambulance even though he was the EMT.
Well, Alex believes her only issue is thinking she always has an illness, but her sister Anna, cousin Nina, and friend Katie say she also struggles with insecurities, and they're worried that her negative self-image could lead her down a really dark path.
Alex spends a lot of time and money on her appearance.
I like having expensive clothes and designer bags, yeah.
This is her Vuitton purse. Another purse. This was about $4,000. My sister was bullied at a very, very young age. Kids would throw rocks at her, call her ugly. I know Alexandra's self-esteem is still low, but she tends to mask it.
Alex tries to exude confidence through wearing things that are more revealing than she should. Alex continues getting lip injections all the time, thinking her lips aren't big enough.
I like looking a certain way because it makes me feel good. Like I like being able to be up to par in myself.
When Alex looks in the mirror, she doesn't like what she sees.
I want to get my boobs done, definitely, and it looks good.
No matter how much my sister spends to enhance her appearance, it cannot fix the pain she has inside.
I don't feel like the bullying affects me now because I'm confident with how I'm living my life right now.
Is this something that you want to change?
I honestly, I'm not even trying to sound like a certain type of way, but I really don't see a problem with it. It's not hurting anybody and it's not hurting me.
I've dealt with a lot of people that experience what you're experiencing, this what's called an illness anxiety disorder, excessive concern and anxiety with having or catching a serious undiagnosed medical illness, although somatic symptoms are absent. That means somatic symptoms, bodily symptoms that someone else can see or measure are not there. So when you go to the ER, they say, well, there's nothing there. So that would describe you, right?
Yeah.
As you look at it. Because I said, do you really want to change this? And your first response, and I think oftentimes people's first response is the best, you said, not really, it isn't hurting anyone.
No. That was about
her parents.
Yeah, her parents. Not about, that's why I'm here,
Well, I'm glad to hear it, because, I think it's all involved, though. I think it's all intertwined. Mm-hmm. But as to the part of thinking you're sick and or dying when you're not, and going to the ER 2 or 3 times a week, that you do think is change-worthy.
Yeah.
started looking backwards because you said at 5 years old even.
Yeah.
So I started looking backwards to see if there were traumas in childhood. And one thing that jumped out at me is that your mother was sick your whole life, right?
Yeah.
And your aunt died suddenly from a brain tumor.
Yeah.
So that's there. High anxiety has been there. Fear of choking has been there. You dealt with speech delays. There was severe bullying that you dealt with when you were younger. People picking on you and bullying you. At 15 years old, you ran away, which is escapism. It's like, I've had enough of this, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
So you were wanting to get away from a lot that was going on in your life at that time.
I do know that what triggered the choking was the signs that they have in the restaurant. If someone chokes, do that. And then she's seen that. And I guess
at 7, she saw something about the Heimlich, right?
Yeah, the Heimlich. And I guess that's stuck in her mind.
Do you remember that?
I honestly don't even remember. That's what I'm saying. I don't remember that. Like, I don't remember that. That's why, I don't know.
And that can be really paralyzing if you think you can't breathe.
Yeah.
If you're afraid you're not going to be able to breathe, that can really scare you, which I totally get. I totally get. Now, coming up, is Alex addicted to the feeling of being cared for? I want to talk about that when we come back.
When my mom was alive and Alexandra started acting up, my mom would often say, write to Dr. Phil and ask Dr. Phil for help. I didn't do it back then, but I think that Dr. Phil is the one person that can help Alex.
There was a time I went to the dentist and my mouth went numb. It started drooping to one side and I panicked. I started thinking that I was having a stroke. I would literally take off the thing out of my mouth and gotta stop for a second, and she has a drill in her hand. And I'm over here panicking, so the doctor told me to call someone for sedation and then just go somewhere else.
Now, Alex says she's been dealing with what she says is uncontrollable hypochondria since childhood, and that it's impacted her work, friends, family, finances, happiness. Her sister Anna, cousin Nina, and friend Katie all worry because Alex also has angry outbursts, which are not unusual for somebody that's experiencing a high degree of anxiety. Because when you have a fear response and your fear's running really high, then sometimes you feel threatened and you lash out. So when you get really anxious, you go into a fight or flight reaction. It's either I'm ready to fight or ready to run.
Yeah.
So when she lashes out sometimes, it's because she's in the fight or flight reaction.
Yeah.
It's not that she's a mean person.
No, I know.
It's just that you're in that pumped up, scared sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like you would get if you cornered a dog or something, they were afraid, you reach down for them. They don't know whether you're wanting to pet them or hurt them, so they snap. It's a fear response that you're giving. So, but there's something different about this with you because I've dealt with this. I've been doing this. I counted up the other day. It's actually 46 years that I've been doing this. Yeah. And so I've dealt with people that wrestle with hypochondriasis a lot. And you are different in one respect, and that is that you laugh about it.
I'm on medicine and everything for it, but it's still not really helping, So pretty much that, and I kind of want to stop going to the hospital at 3 a.m.
I mean, you're just like, I just go to the hospital all the time, and you're just laughing.
No, because I don't want to make myself sound crazy, so I just laugh about it. But I'm not serious, so it's hard to be serious.
You say your mom always said to write to Dr. Phil to get help with this.
Yes, because this was when Alexandra was 15. It was just very hard to try to I don't want to use the word control, but make sure that she was home, happy, healthy. And my mom would say, call Dr. Phil. And I would say, no, I don't want to go on national TV. But I was younger, and now that my mom passed away, I was like, you know what, I'm going to write to him. And if I hear back, it's meant to be. And then I heard back.
The weight's been really hard on Anna, so she definitely needs the help.
It has been. Anna has even when my aunt was here, she has taken care of Alex. And, you know, she's been the one here for Alex. So when Alex acts up and is disrespectful or anything like that, it's hard on Anna.
I want to talk about what I think Anna needs to do and what I think is driving this with Alex when we come back.
Last summer, I became an egg donor to make extra money. I had to use fertility hormones once in the morning, once at night for like 7 days. Before I would inject myself with the medicine, I had to call a lift because I thought that if I hit something wrong in my stomach that I would bleed to death. I probably spent $100 having like drivers just wait outside my house.
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil, the last interview with Mother God before her decaying body was discovered wrapped in Christmas lights.
Glitter makeup was painted on her face.
This is one of the most dangerous religious groups.
That's tomorrow.
A couple months ago, I was about to take a flight from Reno to New York. I was having pain in my stomach and I thought that I was gonna get appendicitis on the plane. I actually left the airport and I went to the hospital. They checked and listened to my stomach and they said everything was fine, and I ended up flying out the next day instead.
Well, 23-year-old Alex says she's been what she calls a hypochondriac for years, and her friends and family say she's been to the hospital 600 times, which has left her with at least $10,000 in medical bills and counting. And I gotta say, you've got some bargain basement emergency rooms if it's only $10,000, because I would think it'd be a lot more than that.
That's what we're aware of.
Been 600 times. Look, do you want to know why I think you're doing what you're doing?
Yeah.
Do you want to know?
I want to know, yeah. Like,
Okay.
I honestly want to know because literally, I don't know. I know.
If you want to know, then let me tell you.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
One of the things that you need to understand is there's certainly been childhood trauma and all that sort of thing. But why something is going on in your adult life is probably very different from why it started when you were a child. But you're now an adult. And you're going to the hospital when rationally you could reason out that you don't need to. I said you could take an allergy test, which if you knew that you didn't have an allergy, if you knew it and believed it would eliminate a big section of your problem, but yet you say, I probably wouldn't believe it anyway. So that means that you're treating your feelings as though there was evidence to support them when there's not. And you would reject evidence if we gave it to you. That's confirmation bias. You already believe that something's wrong, so if we tell you something that contradicts that, you would reject it. Which means you've closed the data window. You're not taking in any new data, and you got to be willing to open it. And I'll tell you why I think this is happening. I think you're addicted to going to the hospital the same way someone would be addicted to drugs or alcohol. It gives you relief for a short period of time. You're anxious, you go to the hospital, and you get attention from medically relevant authority figures, and for those few minutes, you feel attended to, and you feel like you're the center of attention, and you feel safe because you're in control of medically relevant authority figures. You're in control of them, they're around you, and you feel safe in that moment. So your anxiety goes down. That's like a drug addict getting a hit. That gives them a good feeling for a short period of time. And the anxiety starts to build back up, you go back and get another fix, you leave, it starts to build back up, you go back and get another fix, you leave, it starts to build back up, and you find an excuse to go back and be surrounded by medically relevant authority figures that make you feel safe in the moment. And you've got to figure a way to replace that with something much less expensive and much less disruptive to your life.
Yeah, it's true.
Wow,
it's true, yeah.
So if we gave you a different way to have that feeling, you wouldn't need the hospital, right?
Yeah.
So the question is, what is Alex willing to do to make the change where she doesn't have to do that? And what does Anna need to do to have peace in her life after the break? Tell the truth. Tell the truth. How many of you have subscribed and downloaded my podcast? Raise your hand. What the hell are the rest of you thinking? Seriously? You don't want to miss out on my new season, and it is so easy, so you have no excuses. You guys got your phones, right? Grab your phones, and I'll show you how. Here's how you do it on your iPhone. First, click on this purple icon. That's the podcast app. And then once you click on that, then you hit this little search magnifying glass, and you search fill in the blanks. All right, and then you hit search, and you click on my podcast, then you click subscribe. It doesn't cost a thing. Once you're subscribed, the app will alert you when a new episode is available and give you the ability to manually download episodes. It's just really that simple. We are back with a brand new season of my podcast, Fill in the Blanks.
With newlyweds and new parents, Jordan and Morgan McGraw.
People at first are like, he's so quiet, she's so loud, how does that really work out?
I'm the funnier of the two of us.
That's inaccurate.
Were you guys nervous when the baby was born?
Definitely not how I ever envisioned giving birth.
Jordan, what do people not know about Morgan?
Most people don't realize how gentle she can be.
I'm gonna cry. Are you crazy?
A brand new season of Fill in the Blanks.
You have a big announcement, right?
Available on Apple Podcast and Stitcher.
Anna, let me talk to you for a minute here.
Sure.
Before I get back to Alex. You need to do something for you.
Yes.
Let me tell you what you need to do.
Okay.
You need to do what I call individuate.
Okay.
You, in my opinion, took over the parenting role,
Yeah.
and God bless you for doing it.
Thank you.
I mean, you know, your mom was sick, and
Thank you.
while she was sick, you took over the parenting role, and you were a child yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, and you gave up a lot to do it. You made a lot of sacrifice to do it.
Yeah.
And you're still doing it.
Yeah.
And when I say you need to individuate, you know, right now, you and Alex are kind of like this,
Yeah.
and when she calls, you answer. When she abused, you ignore.
Yeah.
And you just keep hanging in there because that's
Yeah.
what people that love each other do. And I understand that. But when I say you need to individuate,
Yeah.
you need to break free of this
Okay.
and not enable her. When she calls with these ailments, obsessions about a hive or a freckle or a
Yeah.
racing heart or whatever, you got to not get sucked into that delusion. You got to not get sucked into that.
Yeah.
You got to be willing to say, well, you know, whatever, do whatever you got to do. I'm not playing
The game.
in this drama that you've set up. I'm out. It's a manipulative game, and you've got to decide. That's what individuation is about. You've got to decide, I'm not going to be sucked into this.
Okay.
You've got to decide, I'm putting up a barrier. I'm putting up a boundary. If she wants to call me for lunch,
Yeah.
then
Fine.
great. Love to go to lunch.
Yeah.
Love to go to what, but I'm not going to get involved in that. I refuse to do it. I will not respond. And if I miss it, and it's that one time out of 1,000 that something happens, then forgive yourself in advance, because you're not the one that set up the little boy who cried wolf.
Yes.
She is, not you. And you've got to give yourself permission and forgive yourself in advance if you missed the one real one out of 10,000.
Okay.
And my question to you is, are you willing to work to break this toxic cycle? Because if you are, I will set you up with a therapist that doesn't cost you $150 a week. We're in a pandemic, so I will set you up with a teletherapist that you can talk to on your laptop or your computer or whatever through Doctor on Demand that has expertise in this area that will help you learn to control your anxiety and phase this out of your life so you have more control over yourself and feel empowered where you don't need this. I'll set up 10 sessions for you immediately with a PhD level therapist that will work with you and put this at the top of your priority list and work with you to do this. If you'll take that help, I'll set it up for you right away.
Yeah, that's cool.
If you at home want to have your own Doctor on Demand, go to Google Play Store or the Apple App Store and download Doctor on Demand. I'll set this all up for you. Doctor on Demand's our company, so I am talking about it with great confidence. Up next, a woman who really does have a diagnosis. Find out why she considers it a blessing when we come back. Want to know what's coming up on Dr. Phil? Visit our website and subscribe to our newsletter. You'll get weekly updates, life strategies, and exclusive video that you won't find anywhere else. Plus, on drphil.com, you can see sneak previews of upcoming shows. Log on today. Despite receiving a serious diagnosis, my next guest, Ann, tries to live her life as fully as possible.
When your breast cancer goes into remission, all you want to do is focus on living in the present. But 12 years after I was diagnosed with early stage breast cancer, I was then told I had metastatic breast cancer. I take one day at a time. I've learned to integrate my breast cancer care and treatment into my day-to-day. I enjoy walking, hiking, skiing, volunteering, and working in my garden, and I really look forward to traveling again. There are wonderful opportunities for me to experience, and I see each day as a blessing.
Well, joining me via Skype are Ann and her oncologist, Dr. Hope Rugo, Professor of Medicine and Director of Breast Oncology and Clinical Trials Education at UCSF. Now, Dr. Rugo is here at the request of Novartis Oncology, our segment sponsor. Now, she is not being compensated for this engagement. Now, Ann, your cancer reoccurred after 12 years. How do you feel now?
Good. I've been living with metastatic breast cancer for a while, and it really makes me appreciate every minute of every day.
Oh, I can imagine. Dr. Rugo, tell us about the type of cancer Ann has.
Well, metastatic breast cancer means that Ann's breast cancer has spread to other parts of her body.
And there are subtypes of this particular disease, correct?
Yes, Ann's subtype is hormone receptor positive, HER2/neu negative. That means her tumor has receptors for hormones, so estrogen or progesterone can help the cancer cells grow and divide. And there's a treatment called hormone therapy that could help with her cancer.
But there's still no cure for metastatic breast cancer, right?
Right. So when Ann's metastatic cancer started to grow again on hormone therapy, we looked at mutations or changes in DNA in the tumor and found Ann's tumor had a specific mutation in PIK3CA.
So, and what exactly did that tell you?
Unfortunately, this mutation is quite common in hormone receptor positive, HER2 negative metastatic breast cancer. About 4 out of 10 patients with this subtype have the mutation. Women with this mutation typically have a more aggressive tumor.
Well, doctor, once you're armed with this information, what are the next steps?
Women who are postmenopausal or men with hormone receptor positive, HER2 negative metastatic breast cancer with a PIK3CA mutation who have progressed on or after hormone therapy are eligible for treatment with a medicine called Piqray or alpelisib tablets. It is FDA approved in combination with a hormonal agent called fulvestrant and is the first and only treatment that specifically targets PIK3CA mutations in hormone receptor positive, HER2 negative metastatic breast cancer.
Okay, so tell us, how does it work?
Well, Piqray and fulvestrant have been shown to help patients whose breast cancers have a PIK3CA mutation to keep their cancer from growing for almost twice as long as patients who took fulvestrant alone.
Well, and of course, before starting any treatment, talk to your doctor. And as with any medication, there are some important things to know.
Do not take Piqray if you've had a severe allergic reaction to it or any of its ingredients. Piqray can cause serious side effects, including severe allergic and skin reactions, high blood sugar levels and diarrhea that are common and can be severe, and lung problems known as pneumonitis. Tell your doctor right away if you have symptoms of severe allergic reactions or high blood sugar while taking Piqray. Your doctor will monitor your blood sugar before you start and during treatment and may monitor more often if you've had a history of type 2 diabetes. Before starting, tell your doctor if you have a history of diabetes, skin reactions, are pregnant, breastfeeding, or plan to become pregnant. Common side effects include rash, nausea, tiredness and weakness, decreased appetite, mouth sores, vomiting, weight loss, hair loss, and changes in certain blood tests.
How can someone get information about this?
Understanding what is driving your cancer is critical to finding the right treatment options. Ask your doctor if your tumor has a PIK3CA mutation.
Well, this is great information. I really appreciate you sharing it with us. And I'd like to thank all of my guests today, and a special thanks to Dr. Hope Rugo. And if you'd like to be part of our virtual audience, all you need is a computer and a camera with high-speed internet. For all the details, just go to my website, drphil.com. You can click on Be Part of the Audience, scroll down to Reservations, and fill out the form. Also, I'd love to hear your thoughts on today's show or anything else that you'd like to comment on. You know where to find me on all the social media platforms. And don't forget to join our new Facebook group, Dr. Phil Fanatics, the only place for superfans to discuss episodes and get Dr. Phil news first. And I know you guys like secrets. Well, Robin has lots of them and shares them on her podcast, I've Got a Secret with Robin McGraw. She chats with powerful and fascinating guests who tell it all, and so does she. Her conversations will have you feeling empowered, motivated, really excited to live your happiest and healthiest life. And that's going to be really important because this quarantine's coming to an end and you're getting back out into your life. It's really great to hear some of the motivational conversations that she's having with some of these movers and shakers. You don't want to miss a single episode. Thanks for being here. We'll see you next time.